Hello, J-Train podcast listeners. I just have a brief announcement before we start. My shows this weekend in Long Island have been rescheduled for January. If you bought tickets, you can get a full refund by calling the club. It's Governor's Comedy Club, 516-731-3358. Let me say it again, 516-731-3358. Call them. You can get a refund, no questions asked. If you want to come to the new date in January, your tickets will be transferred. So either or, whatever you want to do, I really appreciate you, and I hope you can make it to those shows in Long Island. I'm excited to come to the club, but with COVID and state laws, we just had to reschedule. Otherwise, I am going to be in Nashville this weekend. Yup, things happen fast. I got booked up in Nashville. I'm going to be there Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. Socially distanced, half capacity, 50% capacity. If you want to come, I'd love to have you. I'm pretty confident I have all new material from the last time I was there. I'm going to make sure I don't repeat any of the jokes that I've said there. It's going to be a fun show. I'll be talking a lot about COVID and the related issues going on today. So it's going to be fun in the way that I do. If you enjoy this podcast, I'm sure you'll enjoy the show. So I will be in Nashville this weekend, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, 5 shows. Socially distanced. Bring your crew. JaredFreid.com, JaredFreid.com, JaredFreid.com. Long Island, I'm sorry. I'll be back in January. So those shows have been moved to January. If you want a full refund, call the club, Governor's Comedy Club. Here's the number again, 516-731-3358. Thank you guys for hanging with me. I know these are weird times, and I know you're just trying to get out of the house, and so am I. So I hope you guys can come to the show. Again, I have other shows coming up. Raleigh, Philly, Dallas. Those are happening. JaredFreid.com. Enjoy today's episode. Boom. Hello and welcome to the J-Train podcast. It's J-Train, Jared Freid, coming to you live from the quarantine cabin on the Lower East Side of Manhattan. We are here Mondays and Thursdays with your emails, your stories, your questions. I say it every episode. I'll say it one more time. Thank you. Thank you for listening. Thank you for telling a friend. That's how it all works. You listen to the show, you enjoy the show, you check out our guests, you follow them, you tell a friend, a coworker, a brother, a sister, a mama, a papa. Make your Instagram story. Do it for me. Come on. Make it your Instagram story. Tag a bitch. Tag one person. And listen, I'm putting out videos. All over this great nation. I'm putting them on Instagram. And if you're a listener to the podcast and it's the email that you enjoyed the most, go tag someone in that video. That's a great, easy way. I'm trying to give you soft bounce passes on your way to the hoop for you to dunk. I am doing the work. So I need a little out of you because I'm thanking you. I already thanked you. I'm done thanking you. I think
what you're saying is you're a hole in the team. All right?
That's right.
Get involved.
Yeah, I need a little more. That's right. And our guest, I'm very excited. I'm going to bring her right in because I listen, it's her first time on the show. She's a fantastic comic. Netflix, Comedy Central. Go everywhere. So funny. Rachel Feinstein, thank you for coming on.
Oh, shit. I'm ready to get nasty.
I love it. Welcome to the show, Rachel. Listen, we're going to get nasty with some of these emails and some of this advice. Thank you for coming on. It's so good to see you. And a new mother.
That's right. As a mother. And I start all my sentences that way.
How do you feel being a new mom? What could you tell the listeners out there? You had a kid during the pandemic.
I did.
Okay.
And there are some weird perks to that. Nobody mentions the perks of a baby in Corona because there are no commercials, for COVID birth. They're not like, have a COVID birth. No unwanted visitors. All you have to say is, sorry, we're trying not to kill her. But there are some perks because there's no fear of missing out,
Sure.
And so that's good. I was really afraid of becoming a mother because for a couple reasons, I was like, what if I don't connect to her, because I'm a comic and I'm like an oversharer. I was like, if I don't like feel close to my baby, I'll tell everyone. Like I'll be like at a barbecue and have like one vodka tonic and be like, isn't it weird that I don't love her?
And then someone would have to go along with that and then go to someone else, be like, we have to call child services now.
Exactly.
Yeah.
I was like, I'm going to tell everybody that I don't love her. If I don't love her, I won't be able to keep it inside. And that was my worst fear. But thank God I do love her, which makes me a hero. And
what was well when you say I do love her, was there a moment like I understand like you're not sure what this is going to be? Do you, the minute it's put in your arms, are you like, wow, a feeling I've never felt, or like I'm happy? I feel like I'm happy. I feel this way. What was the moment?
Nobody tells you about the entertaining parts. Like I only focused on all the parts that I was like fearing that I'd be exhausted and stuff. And I think. But I immediately just thought everything she does is like interesting. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And you also get exhausted. And like when I leave, people were like, "Oh, it's gonna be so hard to go out." And I'm like, no, it's amazing. It's the shit. Yeah, there's no better feeling than just sweeping down the elevator and being like, I'm fucking free. You deal with her. So it's like, it is exhausting, but it's crazy. You made a human. It's entertaining. We like entertainment. We're comics. She does stuff. She does these little dances with her hands. And I'm like, I could watch that all day. I love true crime. And that's like better than a serial killer doc. The little hand dances she does. Because it's your kid. So it's all sort of strangely compelling.
Well, it's new to you, first of all. And also it's, you created it. It's gotta be a mind fuck to be like, that is me a little bit.
It's very weird. And you know what I thought? My other fear was that I thought it would like change me. And I was like, whenever I see like moms on Instagram, they always have like IG headings like boxed wine is my juice box. And I was like, oh God, what if I like why do I have to have the sense of humor of like a weather girl from Ohio just because I have a baby? So that was my fear. And I hate parks. I was like, I always assume whenever I see a woman pushing a swing that she needs to be rescued or so. Like there's such a sad kind of lobotomized activity.
She should be in a depression medication commercial.
Exactly. It's a very sad activity, pushing a swing. There's like a real dead-eyed kind of vibe.
Looking off into the distance, thinking of better days. Yeah. Exactly.
And I don't suddenly like hate and like love parks, and I don't make a lot of wine jokes, a lot of fun-loving wine jokes. But she's very cute, and I like her. I love her. We're cool. But I didn't suddenly become like, I was afraid I was going to, just start talking about that.
You didn't start calling yourself the momager
or
Mama Bear, or, you didn't start doing as the mother community. Like you made the joke in the beginning, just like I say as a mother, like, No,
I never talk like that. I'm a disgusting pig, first of all. I couldn't even clean behind myself. Look, all my vitamins are behind me. Like, I'm not okay. She should not believe in me as a mother.
Yeah,
I'm an animal. I can't fold a fitted sheet. I feel like mothers like intrinsically know when pasta is done. I never know when pasta is done. I have to run it to somebody and have them taste it.
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, I'm gonna call the child services right now to take her away. I don't know if you. I do think it's interesting that like the idea, people think Instagram versus reality only exists in one phase of life. No. This is forever. We're going to see the mom we hate. We're going to see the grandma we hate. We're going to see a funeral done really well. And we're going to be like, fuck their funeral. Like this isn't just a wedding that we're looking at every day.
No, all I do is lie. This is a lie. I mean, I just put like some weird light on myself. Like everything I'm doing is an active lie. But I like, the great thing about having a baby is also that you can put her in little like Run DMC onesies and stuff. So people don't have to focus on those perks as well. I put her in a Knicks onesie. I mean, come on.
We came on to Zoom and you held up the Knicks onesie, the little baby in a Knicks onesie, and I was like, okay, there's nothing else to talk about. We have to talk about the baby. Like it is the great distraction.
It's true, yes. And it's a good excuse for running late. Yeah, there's a lot of perks to it.
So listen, I want everyone to go follow Rachel. She's fantastic. She's hilarious. I love watching you on stage. It's going to be all over my social media, at Rachel Feinstein _. Go on Instagram at Rachel Feinstein _. She's got shows coming up. How have you been doing? This is kind of the normal question with quarantine. The baby's, I guess, a nice distraction. Like, I moved in with my girlfriend, and it was just nice to be distracted by a move-in. So, like, I would assume the baby kind of offers that too.
It's good timing, yeah, because, there's no fear of missing out because everybody else is, like, weirdly slowed down too. And my husband's a fireman, which is a really great time for that. It's fun to be married to a first responder. It's been really fun right now as I have a baby.
Does he get called out? Like, is there COVID-related things that a firefighter would get called out for?
Yes, he got injured in a fire. He got his shoulder injured in a fire, so he's been on light duty.
Really?
But he's about to go back. Yeah, he's fine though. I want to punch him in the shoulder. I mean, he has a shoulder injury that's bad enough that he can't go to work. But I'm like, good. I want to keep punching him.
Sure, keep you in the house. I need help with this baby.
Yeah, but they put on this heavy bunker gear, and they can't, if they have like an injury like that, they have PT until they're completely good because they don't want to have them out for a longer stretch, I get that. Well, they're at a certain point, they're athletes. Like, they got to be able to run the stairs. They got to be able to carry the hose, I guess, right? Yeah, they carry a hose. That's correct. That's a very good description of what he does.
Thank you. Well, listen, I could come teach the baby. I'll be the nursery school teacher.
You would be a fun nursery school teacher.
I would bring it. A lot of energy. A lot of faces. We are sponsored, people. The J-Train podcast is brought to you by Rothy's. Rothy's shoes are incredibly comfortable with zero break-in period thanks to their seamlessly knit-to-shape design. It's no surprise that Rothy's best-selling shoe, the Point in Black, has over 3,000 near-perfect reviews. The newest Rothy's styles include brand new bags, masks, and their first adjustable sneaker. The lace-up sneaker is out of this world comfortable, and as with all their shoes, it's knit from thread made from repurposed plastic water bottles. I gotta say, I'm looking at the thread-up shoe, the lace-up shoe. It looks great. Beautiful, simple. That's kind of what we're all looking for. We're all looking for that shoe that's not a statement, but a statement. We want a shoe that someone goes, oh, I like those. You don't want a shoe that people talk about around behind your back. You want the shoe that people look at you and say, wow, I need that because you look comfortable, you look great, and that's what Rothy's is all about. I got them for my mom. My mom can't stop talking about them. It's all she talks about. I'm like, don't we have other things to talk about? No. She only wants to talk about Rothy's shoes. She loves them. She loves how comfortable they are. She loves that they're the in-between shoe. Not going out, not staying in. It gets you places. Utility. Rothy's comes in an ever-changing array of colors, prints, and patterns. Rothy's are available in a range of styles. Rothy's shoes are seamlessly knit with thread made from plastic water bottles, so they're ultra comfortable as soon as you slip them on. That's right. Zero break-in period. Vogue calls Rothy's a personal obsession, and Health says they're the most comfortable shoes on earth. Plus, Rothy's always comes with free shipping and free returns. Rothy's has kept over 50 million single-use plastic water bottles out of landfills and transformed them into their signature thread, which is then knit into beautiful, sustainable products. Another major bonus, Rothy's are fully machine washable. Every time they need a refresh, simply toss them in the washing machine. Wow, that's huge. So check out all the amazing shoes and bags right now at rothys.com/JTrain. Go to rothys.com. That's ROTHYS.com/JTrain. Style and sustainability. These are the shoes you've been waiting for. Head to rothys.com/JTrain today and slip into something you'll feel good about. So listen, I'm pumped to have you. Let's do the emails. You ready?
I'm ready.
Okay, Rachel Feinstein, at Rachel Feinstein _ Go. Follow. Hilarious. I mean, so great to watch on stage. Everyone go follow. Let's do the emails. jtrainpodcast@gmail.com, jtrainpodcast@gmail.com. We're going to start serious. Or do you want to start serious or fun? I mean, that's a tough question.
Let's start fun. I always like the easy part. I put it off. I'm a procrastinator.
Okay. My boyfriend won't go down on me. J-Train, hope all is well. I've been a long-time listener. Enjoy everything you put out. Here's my issue. I've been with my boyfriend for the last 4 years, and everything is going great. The only issue is that he has only gone down on me twice during the whole relationship. When I bring it up, he says it's just not his thing. or he doesn't like doing it, which hurts my feelings when I express that to him. He tells me to find a guy that will do it. It sucks because I enjoy going down on him, and he gets it a few times a week and wish he would reciprocate. Why is he so against going down on me? Do some guys just not like doing it? Is there any way I can get him to want to go down on me? For context, I'm 26, he's 31. When we do have sex, it's usually laying on our sides and him hitting it from behind. Well, that's quite a visual. He does not like
specific unnecessary detail.
Well, it kind of works in because she writes, he does not like missionary or doing any other position. Sorry if this is long. I look forward to hearing from you. What do you think?
Oh, I see. That's almost where the meat of the email is. That's fascinating. So he only wants to do it on the side, and not mission, no other position. I mean, it seems like he has strange control issues. I would wonder about certain guys. Tell me if I'm wrong, Jared, because you're the one who really gets this relationship stuff. You're the true expert.
I'm no expert, just a guy with a loud opinion. But what do you?
But I mean, I feel like a lot of guys that don't like going down are like, they have other weird like germ control issues. A lot of times, like a lot of like hypochondriacs so I don't think it's about her, first of all, but that doesn't mean you don't need it and, and it's not okay. But I mean, I think a lot of times it has to do with some other weird thing like that, like, or a larger issue. And I mean, think about that. He'll only do one specific bizarre, like there's a lot of strange control things going on here.
Yeah, I'm with you. That added piece of information, I was with you. Like, we like to fuck on our sides and him hitting it from behind. I was like, wait, do we need that? And then she was like, he does not like missionary or doing any other position. Like, there's two people in the sexual relationship. Like, my question to you is, have you ever been with a guy who wouldn't go down on you? Like, was against it?
Me?
Yes.
Yeah. It seemed like you were looking off into the sunset for a second.
No,
yeah, I've been with guys where you can tell that they're not into it or that into it, but usually people become into it. Like maybe they won't in the beginning or something like that. But I mean, it's just like it's just an extension of selfishness. And it's like, and it's also often some other weird control issue. Like, I mean, there's a lot of people that I feel like don't, some people like, just love going down on guys and that's my thing and whatever. Yeah. But it's like everybody, there's always moments where it's not as satisfying, but you do it because it's like part of the whole thing is making the other person happy, obviously.
Well, that's the thing. That's what's so important about this. It's interesting to me that if this was about anything else, she would feel more comfortable maybe ending the relationship.
The fact that he says go find somebody else, like that to me says everything.
That to me,
he's like, oh, and if you don't like that, you can beat it. I won't change or adjust anything, and we have to only do sex in this highly specific position.
Well, that's the thing. If it was any, like, with sex, people minimize because it is supposed to be like, I guess some people consider it like extracurricular. It's not, but it should be in the wheel of things that you're judging a relationship by. In this situation, if he was like, I only eat chicken every night of the week, and if you don't like that, go find someone else, we would be like, this guy's being a selfish kind of an asshole and has his own issues. Like, I understand she says he doesn't like do it, which hurts my feelings. I can't tell this emailer how to feel, but I agree with you. This isn't personal to her.
Yeah, don't personalize it. Yeah.
No, it's laziness. It's him thinking that he might not be good at it. Like, maybe he's had a bad experience in the past, but now 4 years later, I would think, but it also, the idea that he won't have sex with you any other way to try and like mix things up, I would say it's a two-piece process. You say you bring this up. I think number one is saying, hey, I want to try other things. I want to try other things sexually. What can work with me here? What can we do? I like, let's not make it about going down on you. And listen, I'm in break up with this guy. My end advice is break up with this guy. Like, he doesn't care. Like, but if we want to go down, it's hard to tell someone to end a 4-year relationship. So if we want to go down the line of trying to negotiate with him, let's start with, hey, I want to like let's do something fun in the bedroom and let's just stop the sentence there. See what he says back. Maybe he's like, oh, I got some ideas too. Maybe he's working with you. Like, maybe that gets him talking about things he won't do, why he won't do it. Like, I would want to know why. It can't be that it just doesn't feel good to me, because you have to say, and then my response to that would be, well, what about me? Do you care about how I feel? Like, I would ask those questions.
That would be a good question, but he'll probably perceive it as an attack. So first try, I agree. First try to like asking, why don't you want to pleasure me? He'll probably get defensive and, perceive it as he's being attacked. So, I mean, which is why you should break up with him. But, but yeah, I think you should first, that's a good idea. Just like be like, oh, let's mix it up. Let's try different stuff. And then see if he becomes like less selfish.
And keep it open-ended. Like, keep it like, hey, what would you like to try? What are you thinking? Like, and if he won't sit with you in that conversation and have a talk, like, he's got other things going on wrong. And that doesn't mean just because you've been with someone for 4 years doesn't mean you have to stay in that relationship and be like, at this point, you work for him. You don't work together. You guys are not business partners. You are his employee. You give him blowjobs. You have sex the way he wants to have. At what point is he helping you? And I don't see it. So I think unless he'll have this talk of, because my other advice to women, like sometimes when someone, I give this advice in the past where it's like, wake up the next day and tell him you had this sexy dream about him. And be like, oh my God, you went down on me. It was the best night of my life. Like if she like typed out this sext about what he did to her in her dream, like then he would be like into that maybe. But like this guy doesn't seem like he would even play that game. It
seems like it doesn't arouse him to think about what turns her on. Clearly, he could be aroused without her perceiving much pleasure. But I still think you should try that and a few more tactics, because on the way to a breakup, you have to check a bunch of things too. And if one of them works, great, surprise, you're back in. But try that. Yeah. Try the other thing. Just check a few boxes, and then if he's worthless in each time, then that's when you leave. I do think it has to do with a lot of guys that like are like that. I feel like it is about like some weird, either it's selfishness or hypochondriacs. Like this was the most annoying thing with me about Corona was like, first of all, I've never believed in germs. So I was like, when my friends were complaining about coronavirus, I was like, whatever. Like I'm like the same pack that complained about the swine flu and beat it. I don't want to hear it. Yeah. I never believed in germs. I was the idiot that I'll drink off anyone's drink. I just assume I'm gross. So I feel like it's almost cocky to be worried about somebody else's germs. I'm like, no, I'm the slovenly one, I don't give a fuck about a germ. I don't even like pandemic films. I'd rather watch true crime than a pandemic movie,
I'm closer to your side of the aisle than the other side, because I'm definitely not like, oh my God. When people give out, before this all happened, when people give out like the hand sanitizer, I'd be like, I'm good. Like I wouldn't even like,
before,
get into that.
So people don't think I'm like, I don't believe in it or something. No. Yeah, I'm the same way. When people always offer some extra precaution or, I'll sip off anyone's drink. I don't give a shit. But I feel like, so people that are hypochondriacs just kind of bug me, but I do feel like you can't internalize that separate from Corona, which I do know is real. That could have to do with it as well. He sounds like he has a lot of control issues. Anybody that will only have sex in one position. And what's control about? It's about fear. You control things when you fear them. For example, the other morning, let me make sure my husband's out of the room. Okay, I come in and he's like, why? This is how I start my morning. First hour of the day, he's very anal in certain ways. I'll be like, what is this? Why are there 3 seltzers open? There are 3 seltzers. I'm like, I can't imagine caring about that. Like he was up, backed up, fucking tense. Thinking about the case of 3 open seltzers.
We got to get through the lime before we get to the raspberry, before we get to the no flavor. Yeah.
And I'm like, get off my dick. Please. Yeah. But people have different, it's okay to be the slightly more type A in a relationship or the slightly less, but I do feel like this kind of stuff could be an extension of somebody that's way too much on that side,
Yeah, and when you get to the end of it, she has to ask herself the question, take sex out of it. Do I want to be with someone who doesn't care about my happiness at all? That's all you have to ask yourself, because that is what this is about. Do I want to be with someone who doesn't care whether I'm happy or not, or doesn't care on working towards making me happy? Because that's what this is. And I know where sex becomes this like mirage where like we're never allowed to like complain about it. You're allowed. This is a big thing. We are sponsored, people. The J-Train podcast is brought to you by Postmates. If you're like me, you probably start thinking about what to eat for dinner while you're eating lunch. I love food. That's why I love using Postmates. I can get food delivered without leaving the house or even opening the door. Given what's going on in the world, they created non-contact deliveries. So now when I order from local restaurants, everything gets left right outside my door. They also have Postmates Pickup. Order takeout from anywhere. Now is a great time to support your favorite local restaurant. And Postmates doesn't just deliver burgers and sushi. They can do pickup from places like Walgreens and 7-Eleven. Just download Postmates on iOS or Android, find your favorites, and get anything you want delivered within the hour. For a limited time, Postmates is giving our listeners $100. Wow, that's $100 of free delivery credit for your first 7 days. To start your free deliveries, download the app and use code JTRAIN, JTRAIN, JTRAIN. That's code JTRAIN for $100 of free delivery credit for your first 7 days when you download the Postmates app. Anything you need, anytime you need it, Postmate it. We are sponsored, people. The J-Train podcast is brought to you by Noom. Getting in shape isn't just about losing weight. It's about learning healthier habits and feeling better about yourself. Maybe it's getting into your goal genes, having more stamina, and just treating yourself better. What if you could use one app for all of that? No more hunting for training apps, workouts, or calorie trackers. There is a new app called Noom that will help you develop a healthy lifestyle for years to come. Their whole thing is about learning and not dieting. They want you to build better habits. I'll say this. I'm using Noom. I love Noom. I love tracking my food. It kind of, what the nice thing about Noom is it gamifies the whole process. You get a little pop-up notification that's like, hey, have you logged your meals today? And it connects to the health app on the iPhone, so your steps go right in there and you log your food. It's all in one place. And listen, there's something to accountability to something. I'm not saying a person. I'm saying Noom gives you that little ping that says, what'd you do for lunch? What'd you do for dinner? And it makes you more in touch with what you're doing. When you're adding ingredients to things you're cooking, you're thinking, oh, I'm going to put that into the app. It's helped me. I genuinely love Noom and the app. And if anything, if I'm speaking to you, Mr. or Mrs. Listener, download the app. Just have it on your phone for when you're ready. Because when you're trying to get healthy, when you've made that switch, when your mind has clicked into place, you want nothing in your way. You don't even want to wait for the download. Download it now so when you're ready, you get involved. And on the Noom app, you can get tailored lessons, log the food you eat, and learn a new lifestyle. Noom helps you change your habits and develop a new relationship with food. Noom is based on psychology. The way you think about food is important. Learn through personalized courses how you can replace your old habits with healthier ones. It's great to even just like read on the train or all your, whenever you're looking at apps, I pull up Noom and I just learn something new. No food is good or bad. Noom teaches you moderation. Noom takes a human approach. There's no judgment. It's all about staying mindful and doing what you can every day. At Noom, small steps lead to big progress. Sign up for your trial today at Noom, Noom.com/JTrain. Noom.com/JTrain. What do you have to lose? Visit Noom.com/JTrain to start your trial today. Again, that's Noom.com/JTrain and start losing weight for good. JTrainPodcast@gmail.com. JTrainPodcast@gmail.com. Let's do it here with Rachel Feinstein at Rachel Feinstein _. Okay, this is a little
nasty. I don't know.
That's right. That's right. Dating someone depressed. I've been dating this guy when he experienced. I had been dating this guy when he experienced significant loss in his life. He became very depressed and started ghosting me. We got back together and broke up a few times because he kept pushing me away. I know this is part of depression. He told me he is in love with me and doesn't want to involve me in the mess of his life. He has told me he doesn't want to be a burden on me or disappoint me. I haven't talked to him for a month, but did I do right? Should I let him go? Yes, he is treating me like shit, but also he has gone through real trauma. It's hard to know if I should be there for him and keep reaching out or read the signs he's putting out and protect myself from going through these repeated difficult breakups.
Oh my God. I mean, it's obvious. Yeah, you got to let him go. You've got to let it go. You can't. I mean, if somebody says, it doesn't matter what the reason, if somebody's pushing you away, move away. I feel like that's the bottom line. everybody has pain. Everybody has a cocktail of problems. We all come. Nobody comes from some sort of fresh sunshine relationship room into yours. Yeah. No, it's a shit show, and then you're in another relationship. So, and people all experience loss. Bottom line is, if he's pushing you away, go away. Yeah. I feel like that with everything. Go start somebody. Be with somebody that's available, and also ask yourself why you're chasing somebody that isn't. Beyond a connection you feel, because I've done that before, where I've just excused all kinds of wild, unacceptable nonsense, and then psychoanalyzed the person and been like, no, he has this. I'll diagnose somebody with no information. I'm like, no, he's a Bordy, but he loves me. Bordy short for borderline. But at the end of the day, if they're not being loving and they're not interested in seeing you and being with you, who gives a fuck what their long emotional story is? And again, that doesn't mean you don't have to have sympathy and care that he's in pain. Sure, have that. Be a nice human and move on and let him sort himself out. Yeah,
and also you, like, there's two things that are hard about this one. It's judging, she's like, he's experienced real trauma. And then what you do with people, like, she's basically saying his trauma is way worse than anything I've experienced. She's like trauma comparing. And it's you
can't trauma compare, you're right.
You can't trauma compare. Like, listen, again, everyone goes through their own levels of good and bad in life. If he's saying, like, this is like Maya Angelou, believe him. Let people show you who they are, believe them. Like this guy, like, if he's pushing you away, there's also an element of, like, when the trauma came, he pushed you away, and you don't know how much of that was about an excuse to get out of a relationship to, like, do things on his own. So you have no idea. You have to believe him. You have to go, hey, and listen, that doesn't mean your phone turns off. That doesn't mean you, like, I don't know what the thing is. So, like, I'm just going by the email we have, but it doesn't mean that you won't receive his calls, but, like, romantically, I think
never ever wait for anybody, and don't call them and keep asking. You can't control somebody else's feelings. And I've done this before, like, just in terms of psychoanalyzing somebody if they weren't, even when I've been with somebody, lived with somebody like that was always depressed. And I was like, if I did this, I could, or if I could explain this to him. And even, I would even speak a lot in that way, where I'd be like, no, he's gone through this trauma. So, but the bottom line is, like, you can't, it's almost like, you can't control somebody else, what work they choose to do on themselves or not, or how available they are. And your insights don't matter at all. All it matters is what what insights they can have that make themselves, like, a more available or present partner. And if he's not doing that, there's nothing you could offer him.
And part of her email, she says, I haven't talked to him for a month. Did I do it right?
Oh, yes, you did.
But I did I do right? And I can understand that, like, a lot of this, like, what's interesting about the coronavirus has kind of taught me is how much we care about social stuff. So, like, I remember I was going to go down to visit my parents in Florida, and my mom was like, don't come. And she told me not to come because she was worried about the pressures of her community in Florida, of her friends being mad at her that someone from New York would come down there. Listen, I understand that. She wasn't worried about the disease. Like, she was more worried about some Jewish woman going, oh, so your son's coming down here, than she was about the disease. Like, when I hear, like, did I do this right? It sounds like someone who's like, will I be looked at as an evil person for not digging into someone else's trauma and trying to help them out of it? And it's like, I don't think anyone would hold that responsibility on you. Like, no. I think you have to say to yourself, I'm here if they need me, but I'm going to move on romantically, because there's no relationship that will fix their sadness.
Absolutely. Yeah. And you did do the right thing. So that I do want to underline that again, because she did do the right thing. She hasn't contacted him. So you did it. And that's hard, because no matter what insights you have, if you like somebody, you like them. I feel like the body has, like, a memory. So if you miss somebody, it's, like, physical. So just the fact that it's been a month is huge. Yeah, like, your insights go out the door when you miss somebody. That's why people put up with insane bullshit. They want a goddamn hug. I want a hug.
Absolutely. I don't know why just for a hug.
Yeah.
J-Train podcast.
A fucking compliment. Yeah. So it's all easy. But so you've done the hard part. So that's huge too. You're a month ahead. A month is a lot. Lot.
I'm with you. JTrainPodcast@gmail.com. JTrainPodcast@gmail.com. Rachel Feinstein @RachelFeinstein_. Go follow. Go now. Male superior at work called me buddy. Papa JT, quick one for you. My company merged, and now the equivalent of my boss's boss on this other side has had to email with me a bit. We've been on the phone too, but haven't met. He has now twice called me buddy. I am female, and I can honestly say no one has ever called me buddy before. We work in finance. I believe he's in his early 40s. I'm 29. The first time I took this as condescending. He seemed annoyed as he was waiting for something from me and said, "Send it whenever, buddy." But the second time, I was even more confused. Is this just what he calls everyone, or do you also find it odd? Not sure how to handle this. Buddy the finance elf. What do you think about Buddy? Are you ever, as a mother and as a woman in comedy, do you get are there terms of endearment that male comics refer to you in a way where you're like, get the fuck away from here, that have turned you off?
Yeah, I mean, but I think in comedy, it's so hard for me to have insight about this one because what we deal with, it's such a level of disgrace that these guys have been fired a million times in any office or professional setting. I mean,
sure.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, they'll hurl us to any city. I had a guy pick me up at the airport. They'll send any sex offender to pick us up from the airport. Some guy will pick you up and forget, that's the least of my problem. A hey buddy.
This isn't just comics you're talking about. You're saying comedy club owners,
I'm talking about
people
they'll say, I'm talking about the guy from the club that picks you up at the airport.
Yeah.
I mean, not forget just inappropriateness. There's active safety issues. Instead, I've hurled myself to cities getting picked up by God knows who. Yeah, I'm telling you, I believe many of them are active sex offenders.
Yeah,
they always send the grossest person to pick you up, just
in a car that has every fast food garbage on the ground of the car. Yeah.
And again, I'm not a germ person, but I do believe there are active viruses. I mean, that's a level of rancidness where you have to wake up and think about it. So I come from I feel like we both come from an industry where there's so few boundaries to begin with.
Sure.
That it's hard for me to even advise you, because I'm that you're not supposed to be called that. I wasn't even aware that was a term that's, but that might be because I'm called so many things.
Well, I mean,
called dumb hoe by someone that doesn't even know me before,
Sure. Someone could stand up in a crowd where you are working and yell the worst thing that this person's ever heard.
Yeah, or I've been headlining, I was headlining in Vegas and the guy opening for me, I'll talk about a variety of subjects, right? My family and relationships and as well as sex. Sometimes my bits about sex are about my own discomfort or awkwardness around it. Mm-hmm. And then the opener will come out and be like, "Hey, dirty birdie," oh, you're a dirty one, wow, or whatever. I'm like, you would never say that to a Tell or Voss or something. Why am I getting scolded? I'm a naughty little birdie. Just because I spoke about a variety of subjects that included sex, you're immediately considered nasty or something. So to bring it back to you and away from my dumb tales, I'm so
but I think it's, I sorry to interrupt you. I think it is relatable though. It's what do you let slide? What do you make a more serious thing? Who do you speak to? I listen, I've said this on this podcast, you say, I can't imagine the female comics and what they have to deal with, just let alone, never mind comics, other comics and comedy club people, audience, that what you're saying is you say one dirty thing, that's what they think the whole act is. They think you're talking just to them. I had a guy fart on me because I mentioned farts on stage and he was like, "Oh, I thought you thought farts were funny." And I was like, that's not how this all works at all. I was like,
Did he just back his ass towards you?
So we were taking a picture together and I had my arm around each other and he just farted into my thigh. And I felt the reverberations on my thigh. And I was like, dude, you just fucking fart on me? He's like, dude, yeah, you were talking about farts on stage. I was like, okay. So like I have my stories too to tell. But I'm saying from the female perspective, I think like the privilege of being a man is not having these small things really. I never think of like, oh, buddy, does that mean he thinks he's above me? Does that mean he thinks I'm not good at my job? I can understand where a woman would think into these things. That makes sense to me.
Yeah, I mean, I've definitely spent a lot of time trying to figure out, you do, as a woman, try to figure out like somebody's intentions or how they perceive you a lot. We have to spend a little more time sometimes doing that because we're made to feel so responsible for any signal we give somebody. So every time I open for a guy, you know, like when I was first starting stand-up and I would open for guys on the road, I would always try to figure out their text messages. Do they really just want me to open for them? Do they respect me as a comic? Are they going to be like weird and gross and trying to have sex with me all weekend? And if they are flirting, do I ignore that and continue? Or does that make them think that I think it's okay? Like there's so much to think about.
It's all layered.
Yeah, it's all layered. And you're like, oh, I don't know. Should I ignore this? But I don't want him to think that, you know, like, I don't want him to think I'm mad because I still want to do the gig, but I don't know if he's really flirting or if that was just playful. There's so much.
It's difficult. Yeah,
so I mean, I would say if you feel uncomfortable, the most important thing is how you feel. And if you feel uncomfortable, then you could be like, can you just call me this? I usually tell people things in a very offhanded way so that it doesn't look like I took it seriously. Rather, it doesn't look like I'm actively angry, and then I don't have to anger that person, and then just ask for what you want. But if you're really uncomfortable and you don't want to do that yourself, that's another story. You know, you might want to say it to somebody else. I don't know.
Yeah, she says, do you also find it odd? I don't find it odd. Buddy, bud, kid, like, especially New England.
Kid as your boss, I might be like, yeah.
Well, I would have.
We never worked in an office, so I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, for me, I just being from New England, everyone in Boston is a big buddy, kid, dude, listen, guy. Like it's always like these things. Kind of I've heard before. Like I have people from Scranton, Pennsylvania. They're big buddy people. So like I think the idea, I could understand that the first time she said he was annoyed with her and wrote buddy, that would be something that would be a tell to me. But then second time, she said she was more confused and she doesn't say it was an annoyed time or kind of, I don't know. I don't think it's something I would maybe check it out with other people in the office. And I would do it.
See how many people he buddies. Good idea. See if he buddies the guys. See if he buddies the guys, and then it's like there's a couple things that could be going on. He could be uncomfortable and overcorrecting what he thinks he should be saying.
Sure.
It's annoying too, because you're just like, I'm just a person that works for you. Like, nobody wants to be seen as a giant woman, just like I don't want to be seen as a giant J for a Jew. I don't know why I just used that example. Nobody's seen me as a giant J. But yeah, so you don't know. It could be his own weird thing, but that doesn't mean it's okay. Like. But just check out how he speaks with other people. That's a good idea.
Yeah, I would just go to like another guy and just be like, hey, is he a buddy guy? Like, and don't make it into like an angry thing. Like, that's a great way to act. Like, just like, yo, is this guy like a buddy dude? Like, just like, and just, you know, kind of investigate a little and see. And if it is a reoccurring thing and you do feel it's only to you, now you go to your boss and be like, hey, I'm getting a vibe from your boss. Am I not doing a good job of them, or are these emails matching the tone that you're getting? I'm just making sure. There's ways to soft figure this out without making it your whole life over one word, buddy. Like, which is not something I would want to do either.
Yeah, it didn't occur to me that buddy was problematic. But again, I've never worked in an office and I have nothing to offer the workforce. So I would ask, I think that's a great suggestion. Yeah, ask around. And then mainly if it makes you a little bit uncomfortable, either ask him to call you something else or have somebody else help that happen.
JTrainPodcast@gmail.com. JTrainPodcast@gmail.com. Here with Rachel Feinstein at Rachel Feinstein _. Let's do another email. This one's fun. Can someone fuck someone that looks like a sibling? Okay. Hi, I've hooked up with a guy a few times. We're in the same larger friend group. We've known each other for 6 years or so and have talked a lot, casually and whatnot. Most of our friendship, he's had a serious girlfriend, but would occasionally cheat on her. But now they have broken up. We never hooked up when they were dating. Some of the friend group, including me, are going to his beach house for Labor Day and would probably hook up again. A while ago, 5-ish years ago, he told me I kind of look like his sister, and he posted a picture with her, and I can see what he means. Some of our friends that know his sister have said we look similar. I recently told my friends about our conversation from years ago, and they think this is weird. They can't get over it. I get told I look like people look familiar a lot, so I kind of shook it off. What do you think? Is this messed up? Attach our pics of her and me and him. So I'm gonna forward this email to you because I have your email. Is that okay?
Yes, please.
Right? We have to see if this makes sense. But while I forward this to you, do you think that this is weird, or do you have a similar situation? Have you ever heard this before? What do you think?
I mean, it would be less weird if he didn't say it to her, like if they happen to look similar, to me, it'd be like a non-issue. It's a little bit unsettling that he said it. Although he did say it a long time ago. If he said it as he was asking you out, that would be more of a problem for me. You look like my sister. Do you want to go out on Friday? Like that's a less comfortable.
Yeah. The timing helps him. I agree.
Yeah,
it is.
He might have forgot that. Also, I don't know if you've ever had this, Jared, but like you ever have somebody you've known for a long time and then suddenly find them attractive? Like I've had people that I'm like, I feel like there's a lot of guys I'm friends with where I feel no vibe whatsoever. I feel like their sister. That happens a lot with Jews. I feel like their Jewish sister, and we do the same things together. We fret about the same things when we see each other in a certain familiar way. But then you might suddenly see them differently. Sometimes a drink helps that happen.
No, that I'm with you. That's the vibe can change. The perspective can change. I also like, the Chris Rock line, which is kind of fits in here. Is like,
you did my husband's email. Let me give you mine because I can get on my phone.
Oh, okay. I got your email.
Oh, you did?
Hold on. But there's a Chris Rock. I sent it to your husband's email.
Okay.
Do you have it?
Hold on. I'm getting it. Hold on.
There's a Chris Rock line that's like, you're only as faithful as your options. I also think that applies to this guy who is, you're only as down to fuck as your options. So like this guy gets out of a relationship. You are someone that is looking to get with him. And he's like, oh, did I say you look like my sister? Nah, I don't mean it anymore. You know what I mean? Like, it's like that kind of goes out the window when it's like when you become an option,
Yes, that's a good insight. Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? Like, it doesn't, because hold on, I'm trying to send this to you.
Okay, wait. Sorry, guys.
I got your email. Okay. Because she does, I'm looking at the pictures of her and the sister, and they do look a lot alike. I'm not gonna like mince words here. I also believe that people are attracted to people that look like them. I don't think that that's a crazy thing. Like my parents look like brother and sister a lot, like to me, but that's just me. Like I just forwarded you the email. Do you think that they look enough alike? Like I think you're different looking enough to not be a sister. But also, you're someone who will fuck him. So he's kind of overlooking that because he's like, that, to me, in the totem pole of will they fuck me, is way higher on the list than women want to believe, is my point.
Okay. Yes, I agree with that. Wait, shit. Okay, sorry. I'm having a little computer issue here. Am I okay? Can you see me okay?
You're perfect. I see you, but I'm looking at, I forwarded to both emails.
Okay. All right. So yes, they do look similar. It's a little uncanny, but I was distracted by the fun-loving Christmas time you guys are having.
Sure. That's the family at Christmas.
Family at Christmas, and it was. And I got a little derailed by that because I get jealous of Christmas. But what a time! First of all, what a time you guys were having.
I think they are
also similar looking, but it's not like. Yeah. It's not that bad, right? I mean, a lot of people are similar looking, I wasn't taken aback by it.
No, this isn't Patty Duke. We're the identical cousins in every way. This is also, here's the other thing. The sisters dress very conservatively. You are dressed like, when you keep going down and see her, she's dressed in a way, she's fun. She's out at golf courses. She's she's wearing white tanks. Like, this is, I think it's different enough. I understand why it's weird. I think the friends getting involved to be like, this is crazy. It's not that crazy. Like, it's not like you look exactly like the mom looks different enough. It's not like they all look alike.
Yeah, no, the friends are, I mean, it's fun because it's funny, but it's a funny thing to talk shit about, but no, there's nothing, there's no intervention. It needs to happen.
No.
Yeah. And in terms of him, like, cheating on the last person, I mean, I don't know, like, I have known people that cheat and then they meet the right person and they don't do that anymore because they grow or whatever, grow out of it. But you might want to flag that a little bit,
Sure. I mean, well, I would say that this Labor Day hookup that's going to happen, like, let's not count on this to be the one. Like,
yeah. How about Labor Day hookup with your brother? What's the big deal, huh?
The J-Train podcast is brought to you by MeUndies. I saw a leaf on the ground the other day, and that only means one thing. Fall is here! The best way to celebrate is with a party in your pants. MeUndies. They're soft, fun underpants that will put a smile on your face. Spice up your Zoom call knowing you're rocking fun prints like unicorns, dinosaurs, or surfboards. I love MeUndies. I love what they're doing. There is no easier way to feel good about yourself than changing up those essentials like underwear. Change it. Right now, if there's holes in your underwear, if they're old, if there's that one pair that you avoid because you only put it on during washing machine days, no. Get rid of it. Bring in a new pair of the good stuff, MeUndies, because I have all my underwear is MeUndies. I love it. I love that it's a little personality in your pants. I love that they're comfortable. It doesn't, the waistband doesn't hug you, doesn't like feel like it's pinching you. Sometimes that's the case. No. This is comfort, and it's amazing, and it makes you feel better in your mind. I feel better, like I'm happier while wearing these. Did you know that MeUndies grow on trees? No, seriously. They're made from a super soft fabric that's sustainably sourced from beechwood trees. Never run out of clean pairs with a MeUndies membership. I love the membership because you can take old ones and throw them away, and then you got the new ones coming in. It's like a underwear conveyor belt. MeUndies membership is a monthly subscription that sends freshies right to your door so you can keep your undies drawer stocked fresh and fun. Plus, with member access to site-wide savings and exclusive sales, you can easily and affordably build a quality collection of super soft undies over time, and that's one heck of an undies upgrade if you ask me. MeUndies come in fun matching patterns and come in all shapes and sizes from extra small to 4XL. All bodies are welcome. Strap in. Halloween is right around the corner. Oh my God. Halloween, this is when you do it. MeUndies is going to be right there with you. Check the website for Halloween prints. MeUndies is the only underwear for me. Try it yourself. They have a 100% satisfaction guarantee. To get your 15% off your first pair, free shipping, and a 100% satisfaction guarantee, go to MeUndies.com/JTrain. That's MeUndies.com/JTrain, MeUndies.com/JTrain. No brainer. Get your 15% off, free shipping, and 100% satisfaction guarantee. MeUndies.com/JTrain. JTrain Podcast at gmail.com. JTrain Podcast at gmail.com. Here with Rachel Feinstein. Go follow at Rachel Feinstein _ Go. What does stay in touch mean? Okay. Jared, if during a Snap convo he says we should go out again soon, I say we should, and he says, great, let's stay in touch. How would you take that? Rachel, how would you take let's stay in touch?
Oh, oof.
Brutal.
That's tough. That's dense. Yeah, that's tough terrain there. Yeah. Let's stay in touch means let's not stay in touch. That's how I would take that. I mean, that's not, it always becomes really, because I've never actually written that, but that's such a vague thing that you write when you have no intention of following up. I do feel that, and I've been on that side of it, but also I'll say this. Speaking of not taking something personally, I've gone on a long time ago on a Bumble date, and the guy wrote something like that. It was just like very vague. It was like, my team will circle back in the new year. And and I was like so hurt because I thought we had this amazing date and I really liked the guy, but I didn't write him or anything like that. And then I recently like heard from him and I was like, I'm married, I have a kid. But so sometimes
you did hear from him.
Yeah, like years later, but it's way too late.
Peter, I got a kid, I got a family.
It doesn't mean that he wasn't attracted to you, or don't take it there. But whatever it is, it's not happening, not now. So I would let it go.
I think your story is so important to the advice that or to the perspective I'm about to give, and I was about to say this, and then you tell your story, and it only makes me more sure of what I'm about to say. Guys love collecting options for their convenience. So the minute they go to email speak, like you said, like we'll circle back to this next quarter, and it's like for him, let's stay in touch, all is well, best regards, like that is just him buying time. He wants to keep himself in the room of nice of your brain, the room of good, date, the room of I would fuck or I would fuck maybe. And the way he does that is to say, to stay positive, stay vague. I would love to go out again. She says, we should go out again soon. She says, we should. He says, great. Let's stay in touch. And now she's like, what the fuck? What happened? And then she's going to move on. She's going to have a kid. She's going to, be, living with her firefighter husband. And he's going to be like, hey, so I said I would stay in touch.
I'm like, beat it. Are you kidding?
Yeah, this is what happens. This is what men do.
The thing I really respected in terms of this guy's specific worthlessness is he acted like we just went on the date yesterday. It's like, this Friday, like he just didn't in any way address. And I'm like, it was 2 years, you worthless moron.
It's the most male thing in the world.
Like, you and I, huh? I'm going to throw myself inside you tonight. I'm like, how about beat it?
Please, if I could. But it is so important because this guy is just like, he's positive Peter. He's, hey, yeah, send me, would love to sometimes. And it's like, this is the thing. Like, these guys, they're all about not disappointing you so that you will maybe fuck them in the future. And it's it's just, let's stay in touch. He's basically saying, I would love to fuck you, but I don't care about losing you.
Oh, yeah. It's a Downpuss payment. It's like, yeah, I might lose my deposit, but what the hell?
Downpuss payment is the best. That might be the name of today's episode. That is so fantastic. Let's do one more email. This one is titled, Please, for the love of God, help me. So we should help this person.
Oh, my dear. Yes, let's get to this.
Here with Rachel Feinstein, at Rachel Feinstein _ Go follow. Jared, my coworker and I have been seeing each other for a couple months now, and we have an amazing connection, but he lives in another town and works here for 1 week, and then he goes home for a week. On the weeks that he's here, he's taking me out on dates, texting me constantly, and it feels like we're dating and couldn't be happier. But on the weeks that he's home, he doesn't communicate with me over text at all. The only time I'll hear from him is when he sends me a daily Snapchat that looks like one of those things you would send to a bunch of people. Why does he seem uninterested when he's not in my town? I don't know how to bring this up to him without sounding needy since we've only been seeing each other for a few months. Is he just lonely when he's here and that's why he gives me so much attention? Help. I have no idea what to do or if I should just cut my losses and move on because it makes me feel like he doesn't value me when he does this. Rachel, what do you think?
Okay, well, did she say they're exclusive? I didn't see that here.
They're not exclusive. They've been
okay. I mean, definitely
seeing each other a couple months now, and they work together, but he's 1 week in her city, 1 week in another city.
Oh, okay. But they're not like in an exclusive thing. I mean,
no.
Okay. I mean, if you're not an exclusive thing, I mean, you could contact him more, be like, it would be nice to talk more, whatever, but you can't expect anything, I think. But I will add this, like in terms of that, like I wouldn't read into it at all, though, that he's not hanging out. Look, whether he's seeing somebody else when he's not there, doesn't matter because you guys don't have a thing. But even that, I wouldn't read into it that he definitely is, because I'm married to somebody like this. So like before we lived together, I was like, he doesn't text. Like worth, like, it's all blue. I mean, you would think I was obsessed, like stalking this guy that wanted nothing to do with me, right?
Sure.
But he just kept advancing the stages of the relationship. Like, he was the one who asked if we were, exclusive. He was the one who first brought up me moving in, but at the same time, like, worthless on text. If you were to read our text, you'd be like, this guy wants nothing to do with you. It's getting to know you.
Looks like you're swimming in the Atlantic.
Yeah, and it's still like that though. We have a kid. He's worthless with that stuff, but I was completely like, all right, that's enough. Like, I remember this one night he tried it, one of the first dates we went on. He was trying to get me, it was like we've been on like 3 dates, and he asked me if I would come meet him and some of his college buddies at this bar. And I was at the Comedy Cellar, and I was like, oh, I can't now or whatever. And then later that night I sent like a selfie, like not asked for it. I went rogue, and it wasn't dirty, but it was just like, what I thought was like a cute selfie, radio silence from his camp,
Yeah.
I'm like, who doesn't write back to that? It was like vaguely sexy without being dirty. I'm like, fuck you.
Sure.
He doesn't care. So,
and it's late at night. You're like, what? You're out. What's going on? Yeah.
I took a risk. I was like, oh, he wanted me to come out, and I didn't. So, and any girl that's done that, like, and then, I asked my girlfriends, and we have like, I focus grouped it with everyone. They had him out the door. They're like, fuck this guy. He doesn't give a shit. Who doesn't answer to that picture? Yeah. So you can't really judge those kinds of things, especially, and I don't know about you, Jared, but like, what do you think? But he's like that. But then he would be like, this Friday, do you want to hang out? And I'm looking at the text and overthinking the text. Like,
sure.
The progression is happening. So I don't know. What do you think? But
what you said is very important. The progression was happening. Even while being a bad texter, you were still seeing him for date 2 and date 3. And let's get together. The difference to me with this is that they work together, and when he's in town, and he's, let's say, 2 weeks a month he's in the same town as her, 2 weeks a month he's not in the same town with her.
Oh, I forgot they work together, so this is very convenient for him. Yeah.
And very convenient also, when he's out of town, he only does Snapchat. So, like, I would assume, to me, she's painted the picture of a guy who has another family in his other town. Like that, and I don't mean to jump to that, but like, the reason she's writing into the reason she's writing into this podcast is, to me, is like, she's like, wait a minute, is something weird here? And I would say, yeah. Like, it's not that he doesn't text, it's that he's switched the whole mode of how he messages her based on where he is in the country. Like, listen,
I missed half of this. Oh yeah, he's wild, cheating on his wife and children, and he should not be present.
That's the thing. There's a child at home. There's something going on because, I think, and she says, is he just lonely when he's here, and that's why he gives me so much attention? Yeah, that's part of it. And then horny. She says, and horny, and he's got and from what it sounds like, he has nobody hovering over his shoulder going, who are you texting? If I were this woman, I would have, and she says, I don't want to be needy. I don't think it's needy to say, hey, I'm noticing things that are different than people I've dated in the past. 1, I only hear from you when you're in town. 2, we go to Snapchat when you're out of town. And 3, this all makes me feel like I'm dating someone who has 2 lives. And it's like, at a certain point, it says they've been doing this. I wonder
if she's friends with them on any like media or anything. I mean, she must not be, because. Yeah, I mean, it's all weird the more I think about it. It's such no good.
No, and she's been doing it a couple months. When it's been a couple months, it's okay to ask for more and admit to wanting more. Like she, a couple months in with a guy that like every other week you guys date and like feel very serious, I would say to him, okay, hey, maybe one of these weekends I come to your other town and we do a weekend in your town. And he probably is going to go, fuck no, because he's going to be like, that's where my wife and kids are. Like, exactly. I think she needs to be okay with
out the window. What's the character? Is it who of Simpsons throws himself out the window when there's a sticky situation?
Just that always makes me laugh. Yeah. I don't know who it is, but it is that situation where they're like, ta-ta, gotta go. Like, yeah. And I think she's afraid of saying it's not needy to call out weird.
Yeah.
He is not acting to say like, oh, like for him to look at her and go, what? Just because I disappear every other week to a different town and I message you over a different platform, you think that's weird? Yes, we all think that's weird. It is one of those things, and it happens a lot right now where people challenge reality, and it happens on the internet because no one ever calls them out. So if you say, hey, I don't think you're right there, they go, oh, I guess you think I'm wrong. And it's like, no, you're factually wrong. Well, I guess that's just your opinion. No, that's the facts. The facts are the way you guys are interacting the first 2 weeks makes total sense. The second month, it doesn't make sense to me. Rachel, I don't think it makes sense from what you're saying, like the idea that he's switching platforms.
I'm teaming with ADD, and I missed that entire part. And there's a lot of red flags there. There's a bushel of red flags.
So I think she has to have an honest conversation. Hey, I feel weird when you go to a different platform. I feel weird that we kind of have like two different relationships going on. Do you know what I'm talking about? And if he says no, then he's just lying to your face.
Yeah, and if he said anything he tries to do, he tries to gaslight you, or I'd be like, you're crazy or something.
Yeah.
Because any horse shit like that, beat it, delete. And the hard thing is going to be to really stick to it because you work with him, and if you feel some vague, loneliness at a certain hour, you're and that pesky need to hook up with him, just try to remember Patty and the kids at home because they miss him, and he's a whore.
JTrainPodcast@gmail.com, JTrainPodcast@gmail.com. Rachel Feinstein, thank you so much for coming on. This is fantastic.
Thank you. This was so fun.
So much fun. Everyone go follow Rachel @Rachel Feinstein _ It's on Instagram. I'm going to put it on all my social media. I'm Jared Freid. We're here Mondays and Thursdays. I'm also on Patreon. 3 extra podcasts a week. Patreon.com/Jared Freid. We'll be back next episode.
Put down puss payment on that.
Puss payment. Don't forget to like the video you just watched. I have many more. Subscribe to the channel right now. Like and subscribe, like and subscribe, like and subscribe, you fool. There's even a bell you can click to. Now you've got your week set Monday through Friday. I'm here for you.